Hello and welcome to another review. Today we've got the 115-in-1 screwdriver set by a company called Gocheer or Gocheer. I really have no idea. I've never heard of them, but they seem to have all the pieces in there that I wanted, plus a few that I didn't even know existed and now wanted. I've owned one of these kits before, not by this company, but by a brandless brand off of eBay like 12 years ago. Lasted me a good long while, but the bits in there were getting lost and rusted, and they just, it wasn't holding up. It didn't have everything in it, and that kind of led me to looking for a new kit, and this seems to have everything I wanted. So without further ado, let's go ahead and rip it open and do a slight unboxing. And of course, I've already boxed it back up. I play around with it and all my items before I actually do the review, so just wanted to give you guys a full experience. First off the bat, this is a manual explaining everything in the case that you can clearly see due to these lovely transparent windows, so we're not going to go through that. There's this extremely advanced piece of technology called the Mobile Phone Repair Tools Screw Memory Mat. It is a magnet, specifically like a fridge magnet. It's one of those like flexible kind of magnetized things. It is nice to have. It sounds like I'm downplaying it. It's just I've had one before and I found myself not using it a lot. It is good for like complex builds where you don't want to be throwing all the screws in one container. You can actually write on this with a whiteboard marker and label screws, and once you're done, just wipe it off. So nice for complex builds, and if you don't have one, good to have. Okay, so let's start on the other side, and I hope this sticker comes off nicely because I kind of don't want to leave that on there. But yeah, let's get right into it. Center it up. And the star of the show is, of course, the screwdriver, and this is why I bought the kit. I wanted one with a good-looking screwdriver because anything in this kit that I'm using is probably going to be using this as well, so this had to be good. We'll start I guess you'd call it the top to the bottom, depending on which way you're holding it. So on this side, there is a little spinny knob thing, and this review might be seen by many people of many different ages. If you're young and don't know what this is, you might be wondering like why they do that. That is so you can push down on a screw that might cam out like a Phillips head. If you're not pushing hard enough, it kind of like bounces up and you could potentially strip the screw or just not pull it out or put it in properly. This is so you can apply pressure hard to that screw without hurting your hand. So a nice easy little innovation. It's not like this one's rotating on ball bearings or anything, but it does have a nice smooth move to it. Directly beneath that, you have a little hole for leverage, so you can put an Allen wrench in there and help turn it a little bit. But I'd be careful with some of the smaller bits just because you could probably easily strip screws that are super tiny, so be careful. Further working our way down here, anywhere that's black on this main grip is rubberized, so there's a good feeling to this whole thing, good control of it. It is shaped in a different way to where it's wider at the top. It's nice if you're quickly taking out many screws. Smaller end if you're being very precise with things, that sort of thing. And there's little ribs all along the edge here, so there's little dots. I wouldn't say little; they're actually quite raised, which is nice if you've got fingers like mine, kind of like sausage hands. So yeah, good grip. Working our way this way, continuing on upward or downward, depending how you look at it. We have the bit itself. So if you pull down, this collar is spring-loaded, and it actually locks into place. It has a detented little bar here that extends out a good few inches. So that's actually too far. Oop, that's not far enough. I think that's just about as far as it goes out, but you can see it's got a good range on it. So if you're needing to get to a motherboard screw behind a graphics card, plenty of room to do that. Nice to have that functionality. You never know when you're going to need it. And of course, inside the all-metal bit holder is a magnet. So your bits are already going to be somewhat magnetized, although this does include something that magnetizes and demagnetizes. So that is the holder, the bit holder screwdriver itself. Most important part, really nice. It does come in multiple colors. Well, the whole kit does, really. So if you don't want white, you can try out red, orange, blue, or maybe new colors on the horizon. Who knows? Before we switch from this side, just quickly going over, there's a suction cup. If you're ever removing screens or something, you push that to it and you can pop them off with the help of these tools here, which are plastic pry bars to get in between the screen and the body of the device without damaging any of the electronics, because God knows everything is glued together these days. On this key ring, there's a SIM removal tool that you will hopefully never lose now that it's attached to that. Also in here is the Flexi bit holder, which I'm really excited to use in a practical application, but this can bend up to easily 180 degrees and continue spinning. I don't know how they make this work. This must be, a braided wire or something in there, but you can hold the wire or hold the, body to the wire of these housings and still be able to guide it. So really cool. Also magnetized in there for holding bits as well, which I'd say is critical because you don't want to lose screws or bits or anything deep inside a case. We also have this extender, which I believe is a 1/4 inch, so your standard screwdriver type. If you ever want to adapt some of these smaller bits in this kit to a larger power tool, I'd probably avoid using this on a full-size impact driver or something insane like that, but you do what you want to do. And of course, tweezers, because for some reason they need to be in every kit, but I've never used them practically. I always use my screwdriver and everything for unhooking ribbon cables. I've never really used tweezers. Moving on to the next side, which needs even less explanation. All the bits, you know what's in here, you've seen the pictures. It's got pretty much everything you would possibly need. Torques, tri-wings, little things for nuts. It's got the security bit, Torques. It's got this bit, which I don't even know what it is. It's the standard socket for these small type bits. And then the top is a Phillips head. And it's not focusing, but I have no idea what that is. It's labeled as a PH2. That's not a Phillips head to me, but if you guys know what that is, let me know. You have your little device for magnetizing and demagnetizing screws. In my experience, these work okay. This one seemed to do a decent job as well. And to round off the kit, we've got a number of essentially guitar picks. These are, of course, used for getting in between screens and the body of whatever you're working on, or just prying apart things. It's good to have these, but if you're taking apart anything larger than an iPhone, you're probably going to need a lot more than that, at least in my experience, or a good control of a heat gun. But you can always buy more guitar picks off the internet, and that'll do you just fine. Anyway, that concludes it for this review. I'm excited to throw this in my toolbox and have it for many, many years. It has, plated bits, so they're not going to rust. I am trusting myself to put them back in the case once I'm done with them, so I won't lose them. And I'm looking forward to having this in my kit for many, many years to come. If you enjoyed this review, let me know. That's kind of why I do these, is for comments. And if you just want to ask me a question about it, feel free to leave a comment as well. Catch you guys next time. Bye.